So Earl, tell me a little bit about really what you were thinking when redesigning the Taurus.
Okay, well, when redesigning a nameplate as significant as Taurus, you got to learn a lot about the history. I mean, you have to know what makes a car a Taurus. You know, there's some significant things about Taurus that you have to understand, but more than that, you know, we wanted to make sure that this car was aspirational. We wanted to make sure that this car was unique in the marketplace, you know, and people are going to notice you in the crowd.
Right. Well, it's a lot more progressive.
Yes.
I mean, it actually doesn't even look like the same car. I mean, which is
that's a good thing, right?
Right? That's a good thing. It's a good thing. Are there some particular things that you knew you wanted to focus on from a styling standpoint?
Yeah, we knew first of all that you have to have a very clean silhouette, and that you have to, you know, we knew from the very beginning that we wanted the car to be muscular and athletic. Okay. So that you know, when you approach the car, that it appears to be powerful. That when you approach the car, that it seems to be fashionable. So a lot of things when we start, you know, we want to start with that clean silhouette and then add all these muscular cues to make the car read the right way.
Well, what were some of the key points? Like, can you show me, like?
Yeah, we can. In fact, Marcus, let's start at the front of the car.
Okay.
You know, everything starts with the proportion of this lower grille to upper grille. But even more than that, we wanted to make sure that the grille had a custom spot, and there are a number of theme lines that run from the lower around the headlamp that make a very custom shape for that grille. Now, this is a reinterpretation of our 3-bar grille, meaning that you know, the 3-bar grille used to be all dipped in chrome. Right. You can clearly see now that we've added some painted bars, which we believe makes the car look a little bit more prestigious. You know, and as you move around the car, you're going to notice that there's a very powerful power dome, which alludes to the fact that there is something underneath that hood that's worth noting. And clearly, we wanted to make sure that the car had a very powerful statement, and it made a, you know, makes a powerful impression.
The other thing that's very striking about it is really the stance of the vehicle.
No doubt about it.
I mean, it just has a really great stance.
A lot of attention is placed on where those wheels are located. You know, the way that the wheel flare works over the wheels, the way that, you know, the tires and the wheel well relate to one another. I mean, it's one thing to have a great looking wheel, a great looking tire, but it's another thing to have the appropriate size tire in the opening of that wheel well. It helps give the car, you know, a certain presence, a certain stance.
So what type of tire options are we talking here?
Well, I mean, you have wheel options, which is probably more important than the tires.
Okay.
That range from 17s on the SE.
Right.
And we go all the way up to the 20-inch wheel on the show. And really, what's significant about the tire, though, is that the rubber band, or the amount of rubber that's sitting on top of the wheel, is actually reduced as you go to a bigger wheel.
Oh, okay.
Makes it more low profile.
Great, great. I know that I've heard you talk a lot about some of the music that's influenced you in the design.
No doubt about it.
Talk about that a little bit, and what's that process like for a designer when, you know, music influences you in that styling process?
Well, to be honest with you, music just kind of gets you in the right mood.
Okay.
I mean, just, you know, in anything, music tries to, you know, get you in the right mood. But really, for a creative guy like myself, when I'm listening to music, it puts me in the spot where I'm trying to, to escape all the requirements. You know, I'm trying to get past all the. I mean, I know there's engineering requirements all over the car, but the music allows me to focus on just the creative aspects of it. So when I get to that right zone, right, when I get to that right spot, I mean, man, I can create all types of shapes, because designers have innately inside them a number of shapes, tons of shapes.
Right.
And the music just is like a conduit. It helps get all that stuff out, and you can come up with expressive shapes, the one like we have on the Taurus. So
something I think that you've also spoken about is that Ford involved the consumers a little bit early on.
Yes, they did.
Some focus groups.
No doubt about it.
In the design.
Yes,
How important was that?
Well, because we had an opportunity to meet the customer, you know, face to face. We had an opportunity to actually go to their homes, and actually experience how they use those products. And that's really key, because, you know, it's one thing to design something that looks cool to Earl, but it's another thing entirely to design something that's cool for our customer. And I think once the designer, you know, engages that and understands that at the beginning, you know, they know how to design around that. I mean, they know how to work to or design for that particular customer, not themselves. And that's a big difference. And we did it early on Taurus, and we did it often on Taurus. And I believe that the success of the product, the shapes that you're seeing now, is a result of that.
That's great. Well, it looks good. Can't wait to drive it.
In a couple of minutes, hopefully. All right.